Hey, in this video, we're going to be doing a total portfolio review. So we're going to be reviewing my individual brokerage account, my Roth IRA, and my YouTube account. And if you haven't seen those yet, I'm going to put those in the cards above, just so you can click that and watch that afterwards. Now, let's get into it. All right, so in this video, I'm going to be breaking down my stock portfolio, starting from the smallest position I have, going all the way up to the largest. Before we get into reviewing the portfolio, make sure to hit like and subscribe. It really helps me out and it keeps you updated whenever I release a video. And coming in at number 1, we have FXAIX. And if you don't know what that is a Fidelity mutual fund that tracks the S&P 500. I have 0.356 shares of this at an average purchase price of $154.49. The current price of that is $182.95, leaving me with an unrealized P&L of $10.13. Now, the reason that I bought this position of FXAIX was because it was just the first position that I started with in my Roth IRA, and it's just a small one. Since then, I've been mostly focused on adding other things to that account, but this was the first position that account started. So the second smallest position that I have in my portfolio is actually one that I'm really excited about, and I'm thinking a lot about adding more into my other accounts. And this specific company is going to be Starbucks. We added that company to the YouTube portfolio in the last episode, and we're going to be having another episode coming out Monday, so make sure to tune in for that. The next company I have in my portfolio is PayPal. The position size of this is 10 shares with an average purchase price of $51.78, and currently that's valued at $66.99 per share, or an unrealized P&L of $152.10. Now, the reason I bought PayPal was because this is a company that's been getting beaten up, and justly so, over the past couple years. Late last year, it got to a point where I thought the company was beat up enough to where even if I bought at this price and this went to absolute zero, I wouldn't be upset because I figured it was a nice value play. The next company I have in my portfolio is Pfizer, and this is actually something that I might be reassessing and deciding whether I want to keep long-term or not. I only picked up 30 shares of this company at a purchase price of $30.05. So I'm not down much on it, with the current value being $27.75 per share. The next holding in my portfolio is VTI, and I only own 4 shares of VTI with an average purchase price of $212.84. Currently, those shares are trading at $259.90, so we've got $188.24 in unrealized gains on that holding. The next holding in my portfolio is something that's really popular in the dividend space right now, and I would say justly so. Very undervalued, and I would expect as rates drop in the coming years, I would expect this company to increase a lot more in value. And that company is Vici, and I own 118 shares of Vici at an average purchase price of $28.82. With the current price being $29.79, I'm up $114.46, but I've also received a few dividends thus far from Vici, so the actual P&L is going to be much higher than that. The next company in my portfolio is actually something that I was really excited to pick up, and I knew it was a deal when I picked it up, and I was willing to buy the company as it continued to trend down, and that is Disney. So I picked up 33 shares of Disney at $84.71, and currently Disney is trading at $122.36, leaving me with an unrealized P&L of $1,242.45, and Disney just reinstated their dividend, so I'm looking forward to receiving those dividends as well. And the 8th holding in my portfolio is going to be Goldman Sachs. I own 10 shares of Goldman. I bought it at an average purchase price of $309.21, and with Goldman trading at $417.69, that leaves me with an unrealized P&L of $1,084.30. When I bought Goldman a few months ago, it seemed like a fair value based on the price to book and a few other things that I was looking at. and I wanted to buy a good company at a fair price was my only objective. I didn't think it was going to trend up as much as it has in the past few months, but I'm thankful for where it has gone. And at the time of purchasing, Goldman's dividend yield was over 3%. Now it's around 2.57% just because the company has ran up so much. But that's a nice icing on the cake on top of all of the gains that I've already had on this stock. Now we're getting down to the final few. So the next holding in my portfolio is something that's very popular in the dividend space, and justly so. That is SCHD, or Schwab's Dividend ETF. I own 100.184 shares of SCHD at an average purchase price of $70.82. The current share price is $80.63, leaving me with a gain of $982.81. This fund has a 3.31% dividend yield. That's going to be about $270 a year, and they continue to increase this dividend every year, so I'm expecting that to continue to rise as we go. The second to last biggest holding I have in my portfolio is VOO. If you don't know what VOO is, it's Vanguard's ETF that tracks the S&P 500. I have 24.801 shares of VOO at an average purchase price of $397.94, and VOO is currently trading at $480.70. So I'm up $2,052.53 on this holding, and it has a smaller dividend yield. It's 1.33%, but I didn't buy VOO based on the dividend yield. That's what I bought SCHD for. And the largest holding I have in my portfolio currently is SPAXX. And if you don't know what that is, that's a government money market fund. And with $15,000 sitting in that fund, that's about $709 a year. Now, normally I wouldn't have this much money sitting in a money market fund. And the reason I do is because I had acquired a rental property a couple months back, and I've been doing work on it, and I took the cash reserves that I had and I put it in SPAXX so I can still get a nice yield on that cash while I have it sitting on the sidelines just in case I end up needing it. So one thing I really want to point out about my dividend portfolio is it's nothing exciting, and it's not really meant to be. See, I treat dividend investing a little bit differently than I feel like a lot of people I see on this platform that talk about dividend investing. It's not my retirement plan, but it's part of it. So I use the stock market for wealth preservation and a little bit of growth. Where I focus on growing my money the most is in real estate. For example, this account is sitting at $49,000 right now, and I bought my last rental property with $55,000, which had an upside of around $100,000. So it makes sense for me to grow money in the stock market or preserve wealth, collect some dividends, and build that money up until I can take it to go buy another rental property. And that's really the game I'm playing right now, especially while I'm younger, just trying to preserve and grow money in the stock market and then take that money and buy more rental properties. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.